What is going on? Welcome to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus our friend Niclarson. I am finally back. Hopefully, there's no more engagements, deaths, or anything else that can go on in my life to keep me away from this show. But as always, we were excited. We have a good show to put together here. We have a Super Bowl coming up in less than a week. As always, we always kind of forget to tell this, but please like and subscribe. I believe that Ryan Props will shave his head if we beat our highest liked video on this stream. He didn't
barely
say
have
that.
any hair left, dude. What? I gotta hang on to what I got, man.
It's like it's not even worth it for us, I guess. So guys, I have to do it, or somebody's gonna shave their head or something. I don't know. We just need to, actually try this show. I feel like we usually just have fun for an hour and we forget that there's some other aspects to this show. But we'll have fun. We'll have fun.
Yeah, you should have seen last week. It was such a
It
was such a professional show without you. Really?
I didn't like it. I was driving and I put it on like just the audio and I was like, dude, there's not enough laughs. They're too on, they're too on topic. I didn't think it was a good show. I just thought you guys
did you at least like it or not?
I did not like it.
Did you
mean physically hit the like button? No, I actually commented randomly and then no one responded to me, so I just was like, there's no way.
Nice.
I saw it and I ignored it on purpose.
Yeah, me too.
Crush your case of Brian, a hair gel guy. There's no hair gel in here. I just showered.
Oh, sure.
First time of the new year, I took a shower.
There you go.
Before this show, so that's how much you can tell. I'm appreciative that I'm here and I'm finally back. First and last shower of 2024. So
there you go.
We're gonna get that. And right off the bat, we have someone asking about the DK happy hour boost. We were just talking that before the show. I think it's one of those things where they're going to be all plus EV. They're not going to be anything bad. Obviously, you don't know that. You have to check with some of these guys on Twitter or our in-house people in the GoldBoys Discord that do a lot more of the EV rankings. But I doubt there's going to be any of these boosts, these happy hour boosts that will be lower EV. So I think it's just one of those things. The max for me was like $5. So I'm just going to be taking all of them.
Yeah, I took all of them last year, and from what my memory serves me, I feel like a lot of them hit. So they kind of feel like no-brainers. I think the biggest problem with this is Fanatics might have it, but I don't know if we have a comparison. Now, I know Plus EV guys, they know how to figure all that shit out a lot better than I do to kind of see what the odds should be. But, I mean, our best comparison is he's 35 rush yards in each half for minus 110. I actually didn't know that was there. So, I mean, hell, if we get 30 for plus 120, feels like a no-brainer. I'll probably take every single one of them that they offer.
We are now officially like 3 minutes into the show, and I totally realized that I did not shout out our sponsor, Sleeper Picks. So let's just act like I did that at the start of the show, and I didn't forget. Let's just pretend I did that.
He was so nervous to ask you guys for likes and subscriptions that he forgot them.
Yeah, I have a really hard time asking for anything in life. I'll be actually, that's not true at all. I actually really disrespect people that do that. People that will like get the order something at a restaurant and be completely wrong, and it's like, oh, just ask them to switch it out, and they're like, nah, it's fine. Like, no, you just get what you get what's yours. So that's what hopefully we're doing today. Is going to get what's ours, which is hopefully a lot of winners.
I got married, so I didn't have to do that. My wife will just stand up for me, so I don't have to. So it's really
nice.
Seem
like that kind of marriage where you just kind of let your wife handle everything, and then you just kind of sit in the back and you're just like, get him, honey. And it's like, who's that guy?
It's pretty well summed up, to be honest with you. Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's just get right into it, right? I think we can get into the Super Bowl. I feel like people don't want to hear us small talk. They want to hear us talking about what we have in the Super Bowl. I know I missed last week, and I was sorry to do that, but I'm just going to kick it off with a reminder of what I bet last week, which Isaiah Pacheco, I think I got him 65.5 rushing yards. It's still under 70. I think that's just a slam spot for me. I've been betting him all year. He's had great success for me, and I think it's important to realize that this Chiefs defense, I mean, the Chiefs team in general, they're actually able to run the football again. I feel like Andy Reid's whole career, it's always been a matter of they underutilize the running back. They don't run enough. They blow games by trying to pass the ball 50 times when they shouldn't. Recently, and then most of the season, I mean, they've been using Pacheco in wonderful ways. And even when he's not having success, you saw it like last week where, he wasn't really having the best game on the ground, but he still got the ball like almost 20 times. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to run the football, even if you're averaging 3 yards and a cloud of dust type plays, if you're just holding the ball, moving the chains a little bit, and bleeding the clock. So I just don't think there's a game script in this Super Bowl where he's just not going to get the ball like 15 times. And this is a San Fran defense that's kind of struggled against the run so far this postseason. So I will just back him to have a good time. And a 67 or whatever the line is now, for a guy like him, he gets one little hole, and he can break that, and he just gets that second level. You can get like a chunk play of 20 yards right there, which goes a long way for a smaller line.
Yeah, no doubt. And he looks like Isaiah Stewart chasing down LeBron every time he gets through that hole.
That's a really good analogy. I always see on Twitter the analogies of Pacheco running it. That's one of the better ones. I mean, angry at the ground. Yeah, he's angry at the ground. I think there might be some ladder potential if you want to go that route. I was monitoring it. I want to see what it looks like. But even if the Chiefs don't win this game, I just think he's going to get the ball enough. And especially against a team like the Niners that you just want to kind of keep off the field, you got to assume he's going to get the ball quite a few times. But I did go with the yards over the carries just because I think he has more of that big playability whenever he can.
Yeah.
What do you think about Pacheco 25 each half for plus 145?
I like that too. I think I like that just because it kind of goes into my whole idea with this prop is that I don't think there's a game script. They're not going to run the football, so he should have a pretty even split between first and second half. I said before, I think it was the London game, or was it? No, they played in Germany, right? Against the Dolphins. It was Germany. Yeah. They almost lost that game by just passing it and going 3 and out with the 21-0 lead, whatever it was. And the Dolphins kind of crept back. And ever since that game, I don't think the Chiefs have really done that as much. They really have trusted him to just kind of, help their offense out. So I think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, he's become a huge part of their identity now, which, like you said, for Andy Reid teams hasn't really been the case for most of his career. So Pacheco's been a nice exception to that Andy Reid rule. And what a pick. I think he was like a 7th round pick, man. That's just running backs are unlike any position.
He was the guy last year that when there was that big controversy last season about running backs and this, that, and the other, he was the guy that was like, why would you use a 1st round pick? You got Pacheco and KC just kind of doing what he was doing. So he was kind of hurting the running back argument for all those people arguing for all that stuff with Saquon Barkley and that whole thing.
Yeah. I also gave out 2 picks last week. I put a half unit on each of them. The odds are relatively the same. I did want to get out ahead of it and beat the prices a little bit. They've shifted ever so slightly, but still very good prices. For one, I took CMC for 2 touchdowns for a half unit. I think it was plus 280. It's now 260 on FanDuel, which is perfectly fine. Then I took Deebo Samuel to score as well. He was plus 180. He's plus 175 on MGM. So perfectly fine with those prices. I do have one more ad for this week. I have a couple props I have my eye on too that I can kind of just toss out there that are less researched, more fun, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. Brian, do you have a play, an additional play as well?
I do, but I can wait on it. I'll let you kind of give out what you got there if you have anything else you want to add to that.
Yeah, I think Nick's guy Alan, Nick's partner in crime, gave out this one a little earlier in the week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and hop on it myself after watching last week. Now, I did go the lame way. I drank the juice on this one. So I went Brock Purdy over 11.5 rushing yards. It's minus 130 on ESPN. Perfectly fine with the minus 110s you could pretty much find anywhere for the 12.5. For such a low, low volume prop, I was okay drinking a little bit more juice for that 1 yard because it can end up being pretty important. But again, 12.5 is perfectly fine. It's a low hit rate throughout the regular season, but we saw what he did last week and the week prior to that. He has 6 and 5 carries so far in the postseason. He's a great athlete. His measurables at the combine were awesome. There's Karlaftis on one side, there's Chris Jones on the other. They're going to get plenty of pressure on Brock. So, why would he stop using his legs? It was such a key factor to bring them back into the game 2 weeks ago. So I see no reason that he suddenly goes, fully pocket passer here. So 11.5 rushing yards felt like a nice line. 12.5 feels just as good. So quickly sneak that one out. Brock Purdy over 11.5 rushing yards.
40 plus 1,100. Watch out.
I was gonna say that seems like something right up my alley. As you know, I'm a big quarterback slash low volume kind of props for running backs as well. I did give that a look, and as you mentioned it, I mean, it's hard to not be a part of the public that's kind of leaning Chiefs in this one. I mean, I know the Niners are the Niners, but I do think this should be a close game. And as long as you're within a possession, both these quarterbacks should have no reason to not run. I mean, it is a Super Bowl. If there's ever a time to risk the biscuit, it would be this game. So I think you saw Brock Purdy a few times the last few weeks where he did kind of accidentally like break out of one tackle, and then it's like, dude, he's in that second level really fast. So 11.5 is one that you could just kind of get on one carry.
Yeah, for sure. And he had one game last postseason where it hit as well. They, he missed, of course, almost the entire Eagles game. So I'll call him 1 out of 2 last postseason, and then 2 out of 2 this postseason. So, one that definitely caught my eye earlier this week, and I just decided I got a price that I want to go ahead and lock it in. Tone Stamp also mentioned the Mahomes and Purdy to rush for 50 plus rushing yards. I actually I don't know. I feel like that value is not that great. I've wanted to commit to that, but plus 150 just wasn't doing it for me.
I guess they're penalizing a little bit for the fact that either one of these guys, as we mentioned, that whoever is the one that's below, whoever's not winning in the game is going to inherently have an advantage there. So I guess they're just kind of taking some of that juice in the book to kind of screw people over a little bit, but
yeah,
definitely tempting.
So you got Mahomes that kneels and loses 27 yards on the final 3.
That's true.
I was on Patrick Mahomes rushing yards last week, and he didn't have to run the football at all in the second half because they were just up by so much. And I kind of would rather lose that way and just be like, oh man, this is over in the third quarter, rather than having Patrick Mahomes kneel the ball negative 14 times like he did last time those two teams in the Super Bowl. Ryan mentioned Brock Purdy rushing yards, and that reminds me, it's a perfect time to plug that you should totally like this video and subscribe to the GoldBoys YouTube channel. I think it's a good way to stay connected and hang out with us at all times. But do you know what else, Ryan, that reminded me of? I have a play for this game, and it's going to be a fun one. And there's a little bit of a backstory. So I have a 4-leg parlay that is I think it's 20-1. And it's one of those things where I am not recommending you to bet this. At the same time, you should totally bet this because when this Super Bowl happened a few years back and they played against each other, this exact same parlay happened, and it was the first legal sports book. It's the first bet I've ever made. When I first was getting into sports betting, I was in Maryland at college. I drove the 20 minutes into PA to be able to place a sports bet, and FanDuel had that bet 5 get 150 on the Super Bowl. And I threw on some stupid 26-1 parlay, and it won. And I was like, "Holy shit! Sports betting is so easy."
So easy.
Just to find out that it's not that easy. I took $10, won 12. I think I won a little over $2,000, and I'm like, "Dude, this is my calling. This is gonna be so easy." And then I figured out that maybe doing 21 parlays is not the only way to do it, but it is similar odds. It was 20-1. The parlay is simply the under 52.5 total points, the Chiefs minus 1.5, Patrick Mahomes to score, and Kyle Juszczyk to score. So this was the first bet I've ever placed in my entire life, and it's a rush. I don't know if Tim can put it on the screen, but I have the old layout still, a screenshot, way back when during the game.
Good
where
times.
I didn't even have the FanDuel app yet. I was on Safari checking to see if I won and how that worked. I had no idea how it worked. So it was 26-1, first bet I ever made. I hosted a Super Bowl party. Everyone made fun of me for the entire day, and Juszczyk and Mahomes scored on back-to-back drives the first half, and they got really quiet after that. So it was a fun time. So a little homage that I had to run it back. So it's still 20-1, and I think it's a little weird. Me and Tony were talking about beforehand. It's kind of sad to see, because this is a situation where the over-under is, around the same, if not a little bit less. And the Chiefs are favored in this one. I mean, they were favored in the last one. They're not favored in this one. To see the odds be tanked down, even though it's still 20-1, it's kind of sad to see how far we've come as a sports betting community, that you're going to be seeing a lot less odds than you're probably used to if you were betting these longer shot parlays way back when.
No doubt. Yeah, it's quite bad.
Yeah. So wanted to share that. I think it's a fun one, and I know Ryan bet CMC to score twice. So when Juszczyk gets in from the 1 yard line, it's gonna be so funny to me.
Can't wait. Truly cannot wait.
20-1, whatever I put it in as, the under 52.5, Chiefs minus 1.5, Mahomes and Juszczyk both to score a touchdown.
Hell yeah, love that.
I will say this: I don't like this matchup at all. As an Eagles fan, I'm not really excited for this Super Bowl. But when I saw the rematch, I couldn't not just play it again and have some fun with it.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I like that. Is there any that doesn't necessarily have to be novelty props? We'll call them off the wall. You guys looking at any like off the wall props for this game?
See, my thing with these, I always stress this. I usually like to have one or two real props I post, and then the rest I usually take $200 out of my account and just have fun with some crazy stuff. So I can't say I've looked at anything, but that seems like something Nick would be more involved with.
Definitely does.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I haven't even looked at any of that stuff yet. Gatorade color or coin flips or Anthem or any of that stuff. I haven't dug into any of that yet.
I got you. There's two that caught my eye that I thought were pretty intriguing. One is quite juiced, but I really liked it anyway. I haven't bet it, but I think Brian has the right idea. Obviously, that 200 number will vary for a lot of people, but I definitely have like, I have my captain research plays, and I'm definitely going to have like pure nonsense, to hit the upright kind of bets like all over the place as well in this game. So I'll have some with crazy odds. I'll even take some juice. So one of the ones with juice that I liked was Brock Purdy under 6.5 consecutive completions. However, it did hit last week, but it's quite juiced. It's like minus 155 on DraftKings, but I think I'll probably throw 25 at it and just kind of add it to my list of something to kind of spice the game up just that little bit more. He had a 61.4% completion percentage this postseason versus two secondaries that just weren't that great. And now he's going against the Chiefs, who are allowed the fourth lowest completion percentage at 60.5. So while the juice is definitely there, I kind of felt like it was worth paying for. Another one was, this will fit into Brian's play, and another one just pure nonsensory, but Isaiah Pacheco over 3.5 yards on his first rush was plus 100. And I really like those odds.
You're gonna have me betting that too. I don't like that.
I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, then CMC's minus 115. I'm not even opposed to just taking.
I like that. I like that. Not to step on your toes, but I
You're fine.
always look at those props and I never actually bet them. But my other thing too is I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs throw the football first play, and then you kind of get that. You don't get that first carry of the game where everyone's like, "Oh shit, first game, like it has to be a run." So you might get that first carry, like the second or third play, where you maybe get some more space to operate.
That would work just fine for me. But yeah, those are two that kind of had caught my eye. One other thing, which I don't remember the last time it happened. Obviously, the Patriots did it a few good times, but there's a prop for team to be losing under 2 minutes and come back to win. So essentially, you're betting on a game-winning drive. And it was plus 1,200 both ways. I was like, I don't know. It's again, this is kind of more like for fun, spice the game up a little bit. I think that's something I'll probably throw $10 on each side to win, 120. Nothing spectacular, but definitely something to kind of like sweat as the fourth quarter rounds into form, and hopefully this game is close.
That would include overtime too, right? If they just have to be trailing and then win, I would imagine, right? If they were,
I would imagine
down,
as well. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but yeah, fuck yeah, that'd be awesome as well.
Yeah. Also in the chat, Derek corrected me. I misspoke, saying 21. It was 200 to 1. I don't know why. I'm not used to talking those big numbers for the parlay. It would be 200 to 1. So it was 260 to 1 a few years ago. Now it's 20 to 1 now. I'm not used to speaking in such large astronomical numbers. Usually I'm in the minus 120 range. So I was a little out of my comfort zone there. I looked like an idiot, which I usually do at least twice a week.
If you want to see me, Embiid 30 points, 10 rebounds type of play.
Yeah, you piece of shit. You if you want to see me look like an idiot more, you should totally like and subscribe to the GoldBoys YouTube channel. See, we haven't done that like the entire time we've doing the show. So my goal is to do it like 20 times during this entire show today, and then we can knock it all out in one day. So
I think that's how it works.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Do you have anything? Do you guys have anything else to add to the Super Bowl? Kind of talking about it. I know we talked about a lot last week, and I know a lot of people want to worry about the NBA. Do you really have much more you want to harp on? Because I do think it is still a little bit ways away, and it's a game that you should definitely bet for fun and not necessarily overanalyze and find yourself with like 100 different straight bets when you probably average like one straight bet a game for the last few weeks, and now you have like 73, and you look like Luka Doncic holding up that little thing. But yeah, I don't really have much more to add to the Super Bowl bets.
Yeah, I think we got. I thought to interrupt you guys. We got one thing left we need to do.
What did
we were
Ryan
trying to?
I can't remember what it was.
We got one thing left. We were gonna do it 2 weeks back, but circumstances made it so Brian couldn't show up. So we got to finish off our first touchdown plays.
This is the first I'm hearing of this competition thing.
This is bullshit.
So we're gonna start it and do a 1 week showdown.
Winner take all.
Winner takes all for the final week, and if no one wins, we just erase it from all of our memories forever. Sick.
There you go.
So I think the standings are me up a lot. You guys haven't hit yet.
Yeah, and guess what? Now we can't even make a good pick because we have to go for like
Richie James.
We have to go for like the Noah Grays. Yeah, we have to go for like the Noah Grays here to catch the tone stamp. So, all right, we're gonna go tone.
Well, let's do it.
I'll go last. I'll go last to give you guys a chance because you guys are gonna need it with my guy.
Yeah. Tone, give me approximate range that we have to be in to beat you.
Do you have that with you? Since you planned all this, since this is a new competition we never heard of.
3,000 probably at least.
You probably need it because I've hit 2. You probably at least need like a 3,000. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds about right. So I'll go first because I'll just take the easy route. I'll say Christian McCaffrey.
You dumb bitch.
I'm just gonna go ahead and sneak in next because I know who I'm going. I'm getting the man fresh off the IR, Jerick McKinnon at 35-1 on DraftKings.
It's gonna be pushing it, man. You might need more than that to catch it.
I might. Watch me hit and I still lose. That would be devastating.
Tone did not do the math on purpose, so that we were all in the dark.
Isn't that something?
Give me Justin Watson.
Yeah, kind of have to.
I thought you had the standings, Brian.
I do, but I didn't have this prepared. I wasn't thinking we're gonna do this again.
We have to.
Okay. We'll get the odds later because I don't have them all in front of me. But I'm gonna go with Kyle Hugedick. I think he's like around 46 to 1.
I think he's even 50 to 1.
He might be, but I just think if I'm gonna have this Hugedick like in my head already for this parlay, might as well just put all my trust in him and hope for the best.
There you go.
And the fact that Tone, kind of took the easy road out by taking CMC. Now I can just root for some hilarious things where give me like a shotgun handoff to CMC. He stops at the line, does one of those like throws like that right to Kyle Juszczyk. So it's like double pain for everybody involved. That's what I'm hoping for.
There you go. That's all we can hope for. All right. Yeah, that segment sucks. We'll probably scrap that and never do it again.
Until we can guarantee that one of us wins.
I can't wait till September.
I don't think a soul in the chats or any 4 of us had fun doing this competition. So maybe we'll just scrap this next year.
Yeah, or we'll double down and we'll just have everlasting pain. But we'll move on to the NBA. How many plays do you guys have? I said this yesterday when there was I think there was 8 or 9 or 10 games yesterday. We're at the point of the season where I look at the slates in the morning, like when I wake up early to look at the lines. I'm like, holy shit, we have 10 games. And then by the time I scroll through them all, it's like, all right, there's like 2 that I want to key in on, and the rest are just kind of hot garbage, and they don't really, appease what I'm looking at. But Krusty K said fake Kelsey first TD. I looked at Noah Gray, the fake him or Watson, the fake Kelsey's. I was debating doing that, but yeah.
Fake. Yeah.
I think how many games are there today? Is there 6, 7?
6? 6? Yeah, 6 games, I believe.
Yeah, I do think there's 6 games. Some are on a back-to-back. Some are some interesting games. How many plays do you have, Nick?
Oh.
Just Nick. You have 5? Jeez, I have 2. I have 2 or 3. I guess 3-ish. And then, Ryan, you have 3?
Yeah, I have 3.
All right. Nick, you can go first by seniority because you look old as shit. So you can just go.
Start us off with your favorite Applebee's 2 for 25. Donovan Mitchell and Stephen Curry each to score 25. Earlier on ESPN Bet, it was minus 115. So both those guys have been rolling lately. Curry coming off of a heater, so I like both those spots for those guys.
Like that.
Nice, simple, easy. I think that's a good look there. Ryan, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm gonna spit out an under, man. I've bet 2 unders this entire season.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pay this one.
You really should. I even got negative closing line value to an extent.
Can I take a guess on the team before you even say it?
Sure.
Is he on the Kings?
He is on the Kings.
Okay,
Wow.
continue.
Sure is. Good guess.
This guy's probably screwed me over so many times recently.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Just to cut to the chase, I'm taking Keegan Murray under.
Yep.
I took him for 13.5 at plus 110. He's now plus 100 for 14.5 on ESPN. So definitely go take that over the 13.5 that I grabbed. But this one has the chance to be like extremely painful because I bet him last time for the over against the Chicago Bulls. So now I'm going to go under and see how it goes. But this man's rattled off back-to-back 5-point games, and then 4 games ago he had 5 points, which is hilarious. That the third game in the middle he had 33 fucking points. But that's against the Miami Heat, who sell out and they allow threes but not any points in the paint. So it's a good matchup for him. Whereas this one looks so tough and it's just going to be so funny to watch him drain 5 threes in the first half. But nonetheless, I'm sure you've all heard his splits. It comes really in handy here. This is a road game at Cleveland. He averages 12.8 points on the road. He's under in 58% of games. He's shooting 43% from the field and 29.7% from 3 in road appearances. He now gets this brutal defense, and they've been number 1 in defensive rating for a stretch of time for a little bit now. Garland's back. Maybe they'll get a little bit worse, but they also get Mobley back, who might make them a little bit better. But nonetheless, this is top 5 defense in the league, in my opinion. They allow the 9th fewest points per game to power forwards. They allow the 8th fewest threes, is where Keegan does most of his work. So, I don't really expect his usage rate to be quite this low, but he was like legitimately an afterthought last game. His usage rate was dead last on the team at 8.2%. 8% usage rate is absolutely hysterical. So, guy's ice cold. His teammates aren't looking his way. It's a brutal matchup. So, what can go wrong? Keegan Murray under 14.5 points.
This is a good time for me to chime in with a fun play I have where I did 2 half-unit plays and a smaller bet like point, I think like 15 unit, whatever it was, like on like a 3-leg parlay, all in this game, all revolving around Keegan Murray to hit 5-3. Now, I actually didn't do that. I think it's a brutal matchup for a lot of people on the Kings. The only guy that I see in this matchup that has a very plus matchup would be De'Aaron Fox, and he is sometimes really scary to bet. So I do think this game would be fun. I think it's a bad matchup for Domantas Sabonis. So what I did was I was really sold on Sabonis not scoring, dishing it out, and on Fox to be scoring. So I did 2 half-unit plays of Sabonis 7+ assists, and I parlayed one of them with Sabonis under 21.5 points, which is minus 105. And then the other one I did Sabonis 7+ assists parlay with De'Aaron Fox to score 22+ points. That was plus 101. So it's a little bit complicated, but at the core of it, I do think if one of these is going to hit, it's likely that both will hit. But at the same time, if it goes 1 for 1, I come out without really losing any money. And I do think it's one of those matchups where if you're going to beat this Cleveland defense, which is really stout, as Ryan said, there's 2 ways to do it. It's either in transition, which De'Aaron Fox fucking murders teams in transition, and 2, it's at the elbow. And Domantas Sabonis has been dishing the ball at the elbow so much recently. The last 10 games, he's averaging a little over 9 assists a game and 15 potential assists. So in my vision here, if he's running this ball, if he's running the offense from the elbow with either Jared Allen or Mobley on him, I just think they're going to run the offense from that mid-court area, and he's going to find either – I don't really think it's a good matchup for Murray, but those PNR/dribble handoff screens that they have with De'Aaron Fox, I just think there's going to be a lot of that here. Last time they played this matchup, Sabonis missed the triple-double on rebounds, so I don't really worry about the assists as much, and Fox has just killed 22+ points in like every single game. The 80% of the games, he scored at least 22 much or more points, and he's finally looking aggressive again. There was a time last month where he just looked so like he didn't know what basketball was, but he looks like he's finally getting it back. He's scoring at a higher clip. He scored 22 or more points in 8 of his last 10 games. And I just think they're going to score a lot of points off those fast breaks. And if you watch the Kings, they get a lot of those baskets and fast breaks off Sabonis getting a rebound and just immediately pushing a transition play. And if he gets that long pass, he gets a layup in, it's just going to rack up. So not too worried about these. And then the small play, as I rounded it out, I did 0.13 units on it to risk a total of 1.5 units on the day. It was Sabonis under 20.5 points, 7+ assists, and then Fox over 22.5 points. So
Look
kind
at
of the
you.
same, kind of the same thing. It's plus 117 or whatever it was, or plus 220, or I forget what it was. But it's basically just a way to kind of combine both and have some fun. I think these are just how I see the game is Sabonis dimes and Fox scoring.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
looks
little
more
breakdown.
complicated. I swear it looks more complicated than it is, but I just think I've started to get more adventurous in my plays. Like yesterday, I took a Jordan Poole assist play at like plus 230, and I'm starting to feel more confident just like putting real units down on these 2-leg, 3-leg parlays for how you see a game going.
For sure. Nick, go ahead, man.
Next play is a rebound ladder. One of my favorite guys to ladder, Jalen Johnson of the Hawks. No Capella tonight. Clippers on a back-to-back. Played against the Heat last night. His last game without Capella, he had 16 rebounds. So his minutes are also like he plays a lot of minutes now. So it's gonna be him and like a Kongwu. I'm pretty sure Zoo ruled out also. So that takes away one of the Clippers' biggest rebound threats. But I took starting at 10. You can play double-double if you if you'd rather do that. His 10 points should be pretty safe as well. So if you want to do that as the first leg, that's fine too. I took 10 rebounds on ESPN, minus 110, and then went FanDuel for the next two. So 12 for plus 210, 14 for plus 500, and then 16 on Fanatics was plus 1100. So I just think I think he sees a lot of the court tonight, and he's very aggressive rebounding. So as long as this game should be a close game, I would think. So I like his
last word.
Yeah.
Last word. It should be a close game.
-4 spreads, all you can hope for.
Yeah, I can't go out there for him. So
yeah. I like that a lot. I do think I get made fun of for saying that phrase. I like that a lot, but it's a good way to, segue into everyone listening or watching the show right now should like and subscribe to the GoldBoys Network. I think
you're so smooth at this. I mean, I can't believe you haven't been saying this before.
I actually forgot
the best one ever.
I actually forgot for a whole year that we're like, I forgot we were like.
That's got to be our thing now. Every time you say I like that a lot, then you got to go into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm crying. That is funny.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you forget that we've been doing this for this long, and we never once gave a shout out to the people to actually watch us, which is crazy because I always assume that it's just us in a room with Tone Stamp and it's just us four here. So I always forget about that. So I apologize to all the people watching that have been missing out on all our content.
Yeah, well, we stepped up today. Thanks, Brian, right there. That was just
yeah.
Effortless.
Effortless
indeed. And since Ryan's the one shaving his head when we get a lot of likes today, it's a good segue for him to give us his other pick he has on this one of his other picks.
Well, there you go. I'm going to go with a half unit and 0.25 unit ladder. I'm going Brandon Podziemski over 4.5 assists. I think it's minus 115-ish, nearly everywhere, maybe minus 120. Then I took him for 8+ assists for 0.25 units. That was plus 700 earlier. I believe it's still floating around that range. Let me double check for you as I have this up. Podziemski, yeah, plus 700 indeed. So, 2 games ago, he really got my attention. Clay sat out. He led the team in passes. He had 14 assists, which is crazy to me. Kind of came out of nowhere. Not that he's been a bad passer, but really stepped into this role big time that specific game. So I was really intrigued to see how it go with the next game. And then we kind of got lucky. I bet his assist last game, and we got a little bit lucky because he was off to a slow pace in the first half, and then Andrew Wiggins sat the second half, and he ended up playing 39 minutes in that game. So the one thing that's a little odd about this one is NBA.com for that 14 assist game said he had 13 potential assists. So I don't really have a good figure on what he actually had because that obviously can't be right. But last game he had 12 potential assists coming off the bench. He had 58 passes 2 games ago. He had 48 passes last game. With Wiggins now doubtful, presumably out, I think he'll get the start. And even if he doesn't, I think he would see 34 to 36 minutes. And they keep kind of pushing him to be this playmaker. He's a great rebounder, so he can kind of get them out in transition. And I'd rather it be Wiggins out than Clay, even though Clay looks pretty bad sometimes. He's a great assist.
That's nice to say that.
Yeah, he's washed
bad
shit.
sometimes.
Yeah, he's washed, but he should be a really good assist target for Podzimski. In addition to obviously Curry out there as well. And then if Trace Jackson Davis gets in, that's another really good assist target. So I really like the guys that surround Brandon Podzimski. I'm going to kind of buy into this. I'm not going to call it a new role because he's been dishing a lot throughout the season, but that game 2 games ago really got my attention. I think he's really stepped into a big role. And he's averaging the most passes per game over the last 2 games. So something to kind of keep an eye on. Obviously, Dre is still there, but with Chris Paul out, Curry doesn't take on too much of that responsibility. He just pretty much launches from 35 feet and drills it all game. So Pods is kind of like a pseudo point guard or developing into one here. So let's see if we can get ahead on some value before this trend forms, if you will.
I like that.
Only Warrior I will root for is that guy right there.
Really?
Really? I feel like you've mentioned him a few times on the show.
Yep.
I believe so, right?
I think he's a frequent flyer to Wendy's.
You would know if Nick has mentioned that on the show. If you ever subscribe to the GoldBoys Network and you watch all of our content we have on here, all the sports betting content and other things we do, it's usually a fun time between short videos and longer stand videos, slate breakdowns, you name it. GoldBoys on YouTube. So check us out, like and subscribe. I think that's number 9 of today. So if I reach 10, I believe I get a little prize or something. So
we get our families back.
We get our families
captive.
back. Yeah, they've been captive for a while, which is crazy because it's been so long I haven't even noticed, and that's really an issue for me. But I'm gonna kick off one of my plays. I actually gave this out in the Discord and I posted on Twitter earlier, thinking that the line would not stay. But thank goodness for BetMGM for just being one of those books that really hates moving lines. It has stayed at -115 all day. Other books have all but moved to either really juiced -140s or 30.5 for this. But I mentioned in my other play that the only way to beat the Cavs defense, or one of the best ways to do it, is in transition. This is the opposite case here for Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers, how to beat the Dallas Mavericks. It's not the way to beat them. It is such an effective way to score points. This Mavericks defense in transition really struggles. They allow, I think, the first or second most. I believe it's first. They're the worst transition defense in the entire league. And it makes sense. I mean, they don't have a ring protector. They don't really do well of this whole getting back on defense. It's not really their thing. They kind of just like to wait around and score more points on offense. So if you give me a guy like Tyrese Maxey, and we already know that Joel Embiid is out and he's going to be out for a while, sadly, he can really just like fly. Like he might be the fastest guy. Like outside of De'Aaron Fox, I'm not sure if there's anyone faster in this league than Tyrese Maxey. So if you give me a high usage for like 30% usage rate, Tyrese Maxey, just being able to run and to the rim as much as possible, their fast break points without Embiid has gone up, I think, 6 points per game over the last 6 games without Embiid. And I just think that he just scored 51 2 games ago. He struggled last game in a tough matchup. They got blown out against the Nets, but now he gets another plus matchup. I think people are thinking 20.5 is really high given the fact he struggled so much last game. But man, 30 points against his defense. The over-under is 243. I actually am surprised that you could get a 20.5. I thought maybe they would make it a little bit higher, like 30.5 to 31.5. So pretty simple one here. It's just I just think he's so good in transition. He scores like 6 points a game in transition already. You give him this matchup where he can just run the pace and probably play close to 40 minutes. I think it's a kind of a slam dunk one here.
Yeah. To recap, Tyrese run fast.
Yeah. Basically, and I'll say this: I would have considered laddering this if it wasn't so high already. If I got lucky enough to get like a 27 line or a 28 line, and the odds are better for say 34 plus points, I probably would have taken a little bit more of a line there. But I just think asking for 30 plus is not much.
Sounds good to me.
That too. My next play is a builder here. It's got 3 guys. Evan Mobley to score 10 points. He is still on a slight.
They just said what 26 to 30, 26. Yeah. That's not bad.
I have him at 10 points, which is doable for him in 26 minutes. Sure. Kuminga 15 points. He's been scoring like crazy lately, and Wiggins out should only benefit that. And then the last piece is Kawhi 20 plus. So those 3 combined was plus 103 on DraftKings. Just a builder here, close to even money. All 3 guys have plus matchups and have been hitting that clip with ease of lately. So just a simple builder here for that one.
Sounds good to me. I have one more, but Nick, you have what, 2 more at this point?
2 more. This one, the 2 for 20 for Applebee's here. We have Ingram, 20 points, and then Tobias Harris, game time decision now. So if you want to play it and it voids. If you just want to wait or not play it until the news. But both of them to score 20 plus 110 on FanDuel.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think Tobias will play. We just got news that Paul Reed, I literally had Paul Reed up on DraftKings, and then I got the notification that he's still dealing with an illness, and I was about to parlay all of his unders.
So many
locked within seconds.
Late illness out, people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I will say the thing that sucks when you're betting is you don't know if it's illness, where it's like, oh shit, should I hop on these unders, or is it illness? I just need to be on the injury report in case I'm resting. And so it's really tough to navigate because I almost wish that they never came out with this load management thing because I would rather see rest than illness because you can't really tell if it's illness or not because you can't use the words load management anymore. So it becomes really tough to kind of figure out who and what you're betting on in these parts.
Yeah, it's definitely getting harder by the day. Like
that's what she said.
Yeah, thank you. Some of the things I worry about with the show is if I put out plays too early, then like the line doesn't last. But like now I don't have to worry about that because there's no good lines anymore until 6 o'clock. So we don't have to worry about that as much.
Do you know what's not getting harder there, Ryan? It's not getting harder to hit that like and subscribe button for this show. We do it every Monday at 5 p.m. And we really appreciate any love you guys can give us because, as Ryan said earlier, your love and support for this show is the only reason we get to see our families, and we like our families a lot. GoldBoys has had them for a while, so we're trying to put this in hyperdrive to get our lives back together. So we appreciate any help you guys can give us.
Amen to that.
Anyway, you guys have any more plays for the slate?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'll go ahead and rattle off my last one for the night. I'm sure I will have more ads, so I don't know. There's just so much shit to sift through right now, but this is my last one, at least for the show. I'm going to go Mikal Bridges over 25.5 points plus assist. I became intrigued by the assist to add that in. I like his points, obviously, but with Ben out, he kind of takes on like a nice 7.7 potential.
And
assist
goal. There's about there's a shot or two left on the table with Ben not playing. There's like 2 more field goal attempts on the table for someone. There's just 2 attempps out there for anyone to take
for grabs.
Yeah,
it could be a big night. Yeah, it could be a big night with that extra shot laying around. But he's like a 3.8 assists, 7.7 potential assists kind of guy with Ben out of the lineup. So. With this 25-5 line, we only needed 3 for his over. I am fine with 26.5 as well, which is minus 105, which in that case you'll need 4. But another thing that I have pretty high confidence in because this guy's just out there pretty much the whole game. Similar to Maxey, he's going to get 37, 38 minutes. We have an over under of 237.5. So he actually doesn't have a great hit rate on this. He averages 25.2 PAs on the season without Ben. But I do like a trend lately that I've seen. It's jumped up to 29.0 is his average for the last 10 games. And I think the main thing is 3-pointers. This dude is launching 3-pointers. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in the 3 October games, he averaged 4 attempts from deep. In November, he averaged 6.3 attempts. In December, he averaged 5.2 attempts. In January, he averaged 8.9, and he now has 12 plus 3-pointers attempted in 3 straight games, and he's hitting it like 40% since this trend has arisen, if you will. So naturally, his scoring has benefited well from it. He averaged just shy of 24 points in January. He got the month started off pretty well. Last game in a Ben game, so I like his assist potential just enough to kind of sneak it into this combo. I think I might even lean the 22.5 for points over the 26.5 PA if you can't get it, but it is available at minus 122 on FanDuel. So I couldn't imagine anybody doesn't have it. If you're betting, you probably have FanDuel. So I'll say 25.5 PA or his 22.5 points are my favorite thing to look at here for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
Sixers legend.
I like that. I think that's a good look there. Mikal Bridges, as you mentioned. What are the one things that Mikal Bridges, Tyrese Maxey, and OG Anunoby have in common? Does anyone know?
Their coaches give no fucks about their well-being.
They are Tibbs' wet dream. They play like 46 minutes a night. So someone like that is really nice to back because, you know, they're just out there for so long. Like it's one of those things where it's almost hard to take their unders even in tough matchups because holy shit, they're going to play 45 minutes, you know, in a given game or 40 plus in a given game. So I do think it's easier to back someone like that, especially with smaller spreads.
Yeah, and smaller spread, big over under. So he has taken a little bit of a backseat to Cam. Cam Thomas has a nice 29% usage rate, but while sharing that starting lineup with him, Mike Hill still has a 25.3% usage rate over the last 10. So we're still getting plenty usage for me, plenty of shot of attempts. The trend from deep is really what sealed the deal for me in a pretty good matchup. So really like Mike Hill tonight.
Yeah, and then Nick, do you have one more? Or are you?
I have one more play left. It's either everybody's favorite or everyone loves to hate this play. So
It's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, the old Wendy's 4 for 4.
There you go.
We've got Kawhi 4 rebounds, Tobias 4 rebounds, Kuminga 4 rebounds, and then the guy who always makes it sweaty is your guy. I forgot his name. He's on the Hawks. What is it?
I'm not gonna even talk anymore.
DeJounte Murray.
I think it's DeJounte Murray.
Say the line.
I think it's DeJounte Murray. If you don't understand what we're talking about, I made a bad call of our audience, I guess, and some people don't understand. But do you know why people don't understand our humor on this show? It's because they don't like and subscribe, and they don't watch every episode of this show, and it makes it really tough to kind of follow how we talk on this show. So if you have missed it, make sure to go back, like, subscribe, GoldBoys YouTube channel.
You're getting really good at this.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so proud right now. I'm like proud dad.
I've decided that we need more sponsors just so I can have more ad reads. You know, like when you listen to the podcast and it's like what's the one? It's like what's the new stove? Like the silver stove or whatever it is. That's always one where it's like the smokeless stove. Those kind of things. I need to have more of those ad reads in my life. So I'm going to start making cold calls to people to sponsor the show.
I absolutely love this. This show is life. So yeah, definitely do that. But yeah, the segues are getting a lot better tone.
Anyway, Nick, what was your play that I just totally derailed for
Kawhi, Tobias,
plugs?
Kawhi, Tobias, Kuminga, and DeJounte Murray, all 4 rebounds, minus 110.
You know, it's funny because you're such a lovable guy that I think you'll never get any hate for anything you say or do. I slip up once, and this place will devour me. I think it's.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
people are turning on Wendy's now because if you miss one or two Wendy's, it's not good.
Maybe they're hungry, Nick. Maybe they're hangry because they're not eating their Wendy's. That's what it is. Yeah, I think that's I'm going to say this one more time. I like that, as anyone here should like and follow the show. So before we get to the 14th plug, let's talk about our parlay for this evening. As always, I've missed the last few weeks, but we like to try to build a parlay live on the show about things we talk about. We like to be around 10 to 1. I don't know if you guys have anything that really sticks out from your plays that you absolutely want in there. My one piece I want in there is I do think Maxey for 30 is something that was the first play I had locked in from last night. I want to have it in this. Is there anything you guys are dying to have in this?
Yeah, actually, one play that I haven't locked in, but I really
this
like.
Dude, it's always
he does it every time. Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan's always like, I have 6 plays on this slate. Let me add this 7th.
I don't think you guys realize how degenerate I am. I want to put out 15 plays a night, so it takes a lot from me to just put out like 4 or 5, which is something I'm trying to focus on. However, I have a lean. We'll call it a lean. That's what other people call these. I like PG Washington's points quite a bit off the bench, but I think we can water it down just a little bit. Minus 160 for 15 plus points, I think, is a nice additive into our parlay.
Okay, I will allow that because I have to. But Nick, what is the one thing that you absolutely need to have in this world, in this parlay? Well, he really thought about this one beforehand. You know, we do this, right? We do this every week.
No, between two. I think I'm gonna go Kuminga points. Kuminga
points. Is it probably 20 plus is probably decent, right?
20 plus. I think 19.5 was his line. So if you want to drop it a little, you can.
We could do
Okay.
Kaminga for it's minus
Like
200 for 17.5.
I'm okay just going right for the 20.
Me too. He's been blasting through that line. I really like it. I feel bad, dude. There's a guy named Joe Delera who I'm sure
Yeah, I talked to
almost
Joe earlier
everybody's heard
today.
of.
I missed his call. Sorry, Joe, but I don't really
Yeah.
like to talk to you.
But Joe puts out plays and he puts them out so early. And then I see like 9,000 other Twitter cappers jump on the same damn play. But like, I'm tempted too, man. These are good looks. And sometimes I'll be right in line with Joe, and then I'll see how they already put this play out, and I feel bad because everybody copies his shit because he's so sharp. But he's on nevertheless, he's on Kaminga, and
Don't listen to Ryan. Joe sucks.
Yeah, Joe does suck, but just simply trying to avoid copying Joe is the only reason I'm not on Kaminga tonight. So I'm glad to get in some action.
Joe's one of the good people out there. He's one of the few people I talk to every single day in the space. I do recommend following Joe Delera. And then someone says, because Moody is back today. Yes.
You should also just look at how Twitter steals his plays immediately after he posts. It's quite funny to watch. But
yeah, and if you ever follow me, my plays are usually the exact opposite of what Joe plays. It's very weird how we always are on opposite sides, and I immediately try to fade whatever he puts out. Anyway,
there you go.
So we have two more legs we're trying to put in this, right? Like
thinking of pods assists. We could do 4 at minus 240.
I'm especially if we're gonna back Kaminga, right? We have to see how that would go, right?
Yeah,
pair them together.
We could man up. We'll either do 4 or 4.5 depending on how this last leg turns out. Because pods for 4 gets us to 5.7 to 1.
What are we doing for the first 2 legs?
All right,
God,
so
this guy, Jesus. Tyrese Maxey, 30 plus points. PJ Washington, 15 plus points.
Dylan, that's a good question. My least favorite sports team. I mean, I'll probably just go Cowboys. Nothing too original, but definitely Dallas is up there. I do not like the Lakers. I do not like Duke.
And he does not like green eggs and ham, but he does like people that subscribe and like this show, GoldBoys Network on YouTube. Make sure to throw us a bone. I want to pull Ryan here, and we can get to close to 10-1. I did not mention this on the show. It is not a play I have. But we have 2 options. We can either go, because I really like De'Aaron Fox, or if we already have an under in our show earlier from Ryan Props. So what are your thoughts on Miles Bridges under? Because I think he's just getting these high lines of like 23, 24.5. And he is just, I mean, he takes the volume, but he's just not someone that I trust to score, especially in a back-to-back. I only bring that up because you mentioned BJ
yesterday.
Yeah, it looks bad, right? He looks really bad.
He looks bad, but the thing that scares me with him is he plays so many minutes and takes so many shots.
So I'm going to say
this matchup freaks me out a little bit, to be honest.
But. So do you want to go with something else? That's fine if we want to. What else is on the board here? We need one more leg.
I'm cool to kind of look towards Fox direction here.
I think if we go with Fox, it'd be funny if Fox ruins it. Because I fucking hate that guy at times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just times where he pisses me off. So Fox for 24 gets us 10-1 even.
Well, what do you like more, Boner assists or Fox points?
My only thing with Boner assist is we'd have to go the 8+, right? We'd have to go with that.
Well, if we did 7.5, it would get us to 1065.
Yeah, that's what 8 assists is, Ryan.
Yes,
that's as I said. So we had to go to 8. Yes. I did 7.
Donnie asked me who my least favorite capper is. I think this interaction just gave that answer away. It's probably Brian.
Damn. My favorite capper is probably Ryan Props. My least favorite is myself. So I think the self-deprecation is there for me. And then Nick, I don't really know Nick too well, even though I talk to him like every single day. But he just kind of
give me your address, even. So.
Oh, I keep forget. In my defense, I had a lot going on this month. I think. What do you think, Nick? Do you think this Boner assist is a look, or do you think it's a 24 for De'Aaron Fox?
I like the assist.
8 assists. What would 7 assists be? Would I get anywhere close?
I got you. Give me one sec.
I got it too, man. I'm right here.
That's too damn bad. No, that's 8-1.
It'd be 8-1. So we have to go. We're going to go for the 8.
Well, we could do 7 assists for Saboner and 5 for Podzimski, or we could do 4 assists for Pods and 8 assists for Boner.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this is tough. Someone in the chat did mention Fox points, and then Loctopus says he hates himself, so that's interesting. I do think it's up. I'm going to leave it up to Nick. Do you want to go Fox, Saboner, or just take Pods for the 5?
I say Boner 8 assists. He's going to kill him from the elbow because he's not going to be able to score for shit against Allen.
I don't think he's going to be able to score. Yeah, I agree with that. So we can go with that. And then what does that make this again?
I got plus 1095.
Plus 1095. That sounds good. 8 assists. It's minus 135. I do think there was some love to Saboner's under today. He opened at 8.5. A lot of people are taking his under an assist. So I think it kind of creates a good value if you do believe in him going over, which I know it's a tough matchup, but he's making 73 passes a game. I know that doesn't translate to assists because that's all sorts of kind of passes, but dude, he's playing like a Jokic role. Like he's quite literally is averaging like 9.5 assists a game. So I don't really think it's too much for worry here.
So to recap, we got Kuminga at 20, Pods at 4 assists, PJ Washington at 15, Maxey at 30, and Saboner at 8 assists.
Love that. That's a good looking parlay, fellas.
So it's almost 11-1, and we're gonna round up to 11-1. I think
I'm using my boost on it.
Is there a FanDuel boost today? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 30%.
30%.
So we're gonna I hope you guys like steak and lobster because after this hits with the 30% boost, we're gonna be looking good. So to recap, we have Kuminga 20 plus, Pods 4+ assists, Maxey 30+ points, PJ Washington 15+ points, Saboner at 8 assists. It's 5-leg parlay. It is 11-1, and there is a boost. So I do think there is some fun to have on this smaller slate. But do you guys want to recap our plays and get the hell out of here?
Yeah, one person mentioned Westbrook assists for the Clippers on a back-to-back. I think it's really interesting because he got a lot more minutes when Zubac was out. Oddly enough, they kind of just went small and brought him in to play more minutes. So I haven't seen what the line is, but that is something that I do kind of have circled in the back of my head for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, we can actually recap our plays like you initially said, but I just didn't want to leave my man.
No, I agree. There's actually was a lot of chatter in the chat at the end. We didn't really get to all of it because of the fact we were trying to do these this parlay. So I do appreciate. Oh wait, what the hell is? Oh, never mind. Because Kuminga just went to 20.5. So we just have to do the all. It'll still be 11-1, so it's fine. We'll just quickly do a recap. I have a weird play in this Kings and Cavs game where I took Sabonis 7+ assists on 2 different plays. One of them is 7+ assists parlayed with his under 21.5 points. And the other one is 7+ assists parlayed with De'Aaron Fox to score 22 or more points, both on ESPN Bet. And then I did a smaller play, throw $10 on it on 7+ assists parlayed with under 20.5 points and Fox to score 23. So just we'll have it in my channel, but there's just a lot of fun to have in that game. And then I did take Tyrese Maxey over 29.5. Someone just mentioned it in the thing, so I got thrown up there. To answer Donnie here, I did take Tyrese Maxey over 29.5 points. It was the first play of the show. For the exact reason you just mentioned in the chat, they allow a lot of transition points. Sixers without Embiid the last few games are scoring almost 22 points per game in fast breaks. It's obviously not all Maxey, but he should have a lot of chances at the rim there in the transition. So I like him for 30. Sorry for a little bit longer there. I just want to address the chat.
Indeed. Nick, go ahead.
Yep, my first play is Curry and Mitchell each to score 25, and that was minus 115 on ESPN Bet this morning. Then I have a Jalen Johnson rebound ladder starting at 10 on ESPN, 12 and 14 on FanDuel, and then 16 on Fanatics. Then I have a builder with Mobley from the Cavs, 10 points, Kuminga from the Warriors, 15, Kawhi from the Clippers, 20. Those 3 combined was plus 103 on DraftKings. This one, Tobias, I'm not sure if any more news has came out, but he was a game time decision. Nothing. Tobias and Brandon Ingram each to score 20 plus 110 on FanDuel. And then finally, the 4 for 4, all to get 4 rebounds. Kuminga, Warriors, Tobias Harris, Sixers, Kawhi, Clippers, and DeJounte Murray of the Hawks, all to get 4 rebounds.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. And if you like DeJounte Murray, be sure to like and subscribe our show and GoldBoys Network as well. I'll go ahead and clock us out essentially. Quick look ahead to the Super Bowl. I took Brock Purdy over 11.5 rushing yards at -130 on ESPN. I'm cool with 12.5 as well. And then for NBA, Keegan Murray under 14.5 points. Then I took Brandon Podziemski's assist ladder for a half unit. I took his over 4.5, and then for 0.25 units, I took 8+, which is plus 700 on FanDuel. And then my final play of the night is Mikal Bridges over 25.5 PA. I think I lean, instead of the 26.5 PA, I think I just lean the 22.5 points for Mikal there, but really fine with all of the above. That should pretty much do it. Somebody's saying mention it. What am I mentioning? Pacheco?
Yeah, it's me, dude.
Oh.
I didn't want to.
I know it was you, but
I didn't want to interrupt your thunder. You had this whole thing where you usually sign us out because I can't sign us out and sign us in. It'd be.
Well,
I
ahead.
did take Isaiah
You have to
Pacheco
now.
over 65.5 rushing yards. I forgot we did talk about the Super Bowl as well.
Why is he mispronouncing Mikal? Ouch.
You can't pronounce anything.
What
right?
I do,
Kick,
Donnie, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the show, you probably should, and you'll learn that I mispronounce a lot of names.
Joe Kick, Giannis.
I watch the NBA like 5 hours a night, and I still have no idea how to pronounce half these guys' names. Great. But yeah, hey, let's get the heck out of here. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for Sleeper Picks for sponsoring, and we will see you guys next week.